thought of something interesting as I was driving here. There's a lot of birds and squirrel activity, chipmunk activity. A lot of people around here feed them. In Ohio, I just dropped off my rent. Yes, I still pay rent to my landlord. He's got a wonderful setup, and he works with pigeons, homing pigeons, makes a lot of money off of taking them to funerals and weddings and things like that. And I was thinking about a good way to think about the problem of evil within this planet and the invasive element. I'm not going to go over that again. I've made hours of clips talking about that. And I noticed this hawk. I take care of these baby squirrels, and I feed birds and all this kind of stuff, and there's these beautiful birds. But off in the distance, I will often see a hawk or an owl, some sort of bird of prey. And I noticed the other day, as I was approaching my property, that there is a particular hawk that I'd seen before, and he was circling around my area, which is an area that draws a lot of birds and things like that because of the feeding. Now, I have not put out a bird feeder this year because of hearing about stories about how unclean they are, and it just makes sense if you think about it. To me, if you really think about it, it seems like you'd almost have to clean those things out with bleach weekly or monthly. And so I'll throw some seed down on the ground now. I've a lot of people feed birds. I'm just trying to feed those, the squirrel family that I feel responsible for, and this chipmunk that lives underneath the property, as well as some cardinals and blue jays, the ones that eat walnuts. They're really funny when they come up to the window. They almost look like a tropical bird. If you get the ones that are like tan and have a orange red beak, it's pretty funny. But I noticed this hawk up there, and I always have to remind myself just how I had realized last year when I was feeding the rabbits that they're not smart enough to understand that there's a busy street right in front of me, and they kept getting hit. I felt responsible. So I quit putting out rabbit-type things, and I didn't cut down the weeds because I didn't realize rabbits were living in there, So it's a learning process when you unwind your spirit organ and start seeing nature and animals. It's one of the first things that happened with me, a whole new level. So there's all these species that I'm coming to see. But my point here, 3 minutes into this, is that lingering hawk is also probably there because of the feeding, and because the good intention is there, the good positive energy is there, wanting to propagate local wildlife that's already compromised. This is why I agree with feeding city animals, because they're already living in a city. Infrastructure has taken away their land, so if they're in the city, it's already unnatural. It's okay to feed them. Yet, this hawk that is circling around my location is a sign that no matter what sort of negative or what sort of positive space you've created with feeding these animals, there's always going to be this negative element lingering just outside of your safe zone or your perceived safe zone. And what's important about this observation and the comparison of the hawk is that hawk isn't necessarily, or he's not bad, he's just trying to survive. But to my safe space, it may seem like they're evil, or they're specifically out to harm. Hold on 1 second, I hope this isn't a... Okay, good, that's a leaf. I always worry when I see a lump in the road. I don't want that to be one of my squirrels. So the invasive element in the planet, which is responsible for the problem of evil, is also an outside entity trying to survive. So it's something to think about when you're defining and categorizing what evil is. And I've always argued it's based on your planet and your moral landscape. The definition changes depending on your planet.